Hi everybody, I hope you are doing well today. I am doing well and I'm so excited to be back here to share one of the most commonly asked questions. How do I have an interview? How do I prepare? I mean, what do I expect? And I'm excited to just be sharing with you some of the tips that might help you as you get ready for that interview. And I'll be sharing the do's, the don'ts, and some of the tips that might actually help you get ready for that interview. So first of all, let me welcome you to my channel. This is Wanjiro from Kenya to Japan, and I'm excited to be sharing with all of you some of the tips that might help you get ready for this interview. But I must say that every company asks you different questions, so it's upon you to really just present yourself and be able to just go read about the company, be it Interact or Borderlink. Go read about them. There's so much information on their website. Get to understand them even as you get ready for the interview. So if you're a new subscriber or just come across my channel, welcome to the family. I would like you to request you to support me by subscribing. That's the best way you can encourage me to keep doing these videos. All right, now with no further ado, let's get down to this topic about interviews. Okay, and I just did write some things down so that I don't forget to mention some of the most important things about interview and preparations. Okay, now let's talk about, first of all, the things, but we're going to look at things, the do's and the don'ts, the dress code, the video settings that you need to observe, the questions, and the tips. Now, these are very important things to note, because from the moment you get that interview to how you respond to the email, it says so much about you. To how you present yourself first, it's very important. Now let's first of all talk about when you get that email that you're being invited to the interview. Now, I've had people who miss the interview because of the time difference. Remember, Japan is 6 hours ahead of Kenya. Now, if you're in Kenya, and depending where you are, if you're in Nigeria or Zimbabwe, please check the time difference. And for example, if you're in Kenya, if they say the interview is at 10 a.m., that's Japanese time. So you need to minus. So that will probably be late in the night, your time. So make sure you check that time so that you don't miss it. The good thing is they allow you to pick a time where you're available, so that's important. Please check on that and ensure you don't miss the interview, because I've had people who missed the interviews because the time difference. Yeah. Now, the other thing, that the first thing I'd like us to talk about is actually the dress code. Okay, now if you're going for a virtual interview, please be dressed like you're going for a real interview. That's very important. Now, what I've seen in Japanese culture, and you can also just Google and search about it, they don't like going to work in very bright colors, like, you know, a yellow suit or a pink suit. They love the official colors. So if you have a black jacket, maybe a white shirt, go for that. Just avoid the very shouting colors, because you know you want to be able to to go look official like a teacher. Okay, so that's very important. And I know some companies do mention the kind of dress code you need to have for school and for work. Okay, now, so dress code is very important. Avoid shouting colors. Now, as we talk about colors also, please don't go dressed like me. I just couldn't dress up for this video because I have probably right now I have nothing that fits me. I mean, because I'm nursing and, you know, added some weight. So if when I go back to the office or work, I'll have to probably get everything new. But dress up, and don't wear my earrings, ladies. Just keep them small and of course your hair should be like behind, not on your face. So make sure your hair is behind. And this also are things that you have to do when you actually go to school, to the classroom. Yeah, they don't like you having hairs that are hiding half of your face. Keep everything behind. For makeup, if you can, keep it minimal as well. Don't have too much of it. Now, I think that's all about dress code. And then this is so important as we consider dress code: tattoos. Tattoos is kind of a taboo thing in Japan. So if you have, please do cover them. If you have them on your neck or somewhere, try and cover them. And I know this is something they're going to be talking about in the interview as well. Yeah. Then if you have lots of piercings, because I know there are people who have piercings, you know, and the nose piercings is also a thing that's a thing in Japan. So they'll probably tell you to keep them minimal, even as you go to class to teach. You know, just have one, or you know, or if you have so many piercings, just keep one jewelry or earrings. So now that's dress code. The most important thing is look the part. Okay, the most important thing you can wear is your confidence and your smile. You want to be smiling, you want to look excited. You're going to be teaching children, and they want to be able to see that coming out. They want to see, you know, you're not going to be a boring teacher. You're going to be a teacher who is happy and is engaging. So that's important. Now we've talked about dress code, so now let's talk about your video, the video settings, okay, and even how like you are going to appear on that interview. Now when you put on your video, because you're going to be there, please avoid so much things happening on the background. If you can, look for a clear background. Okay, now you look for a clear background that's not busy, that doesn't have the pictures of celebrities hanging or stuff like that. Just make sure it's clear and it doesn't have any distractions. And then also make sure your lighting is good enough. So be at a place where you can, you know, you can have enough lighting, and you can do this before. Try put your camera recording yourself and see how the, you know, how good the lighting is. You don't want to be interviewed and your background is dark and the interviewer is struggling to see you and all they can see is your teeth. So you want to be able to be visible and people can see you. That's important as well. And apart from the background, also make sure you pick a time where you know that you're going to be in a place that doesn't have a lot of noise from outside or inside. So that's important, because again, this is someone who is interviewing you from far away and they want to be able to hear you. So that, make sure, check your settings, make sure you have enough data on your phone or your laptop, or you have a good Wi-Fi connection. And I always say have backup. If mobile data and you know, Wi-Fi, please make sure you have that, because sometimes mobile data or Wi-Fi goes off or electricity goes off. What do? And you really want to be able to do your interview, because you want to do well. So having that, just preparing that in advance is important. Then so anyway, and the other most important thing is arrive in time, be on time. And I know one thing about Japanese people, they are timekeepers. Oh, they are good timekeepers. So if somebody tells you let's meet at 9, they will be there 10 minutes before, or at least 5 minutes before. Now with your interview, if it's on Google or Zoom or Skype, be prepared. Like, be at the place where you're doing the interview early, just in case they call you 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before, and you won't be like, oh, running to, you know, get ready. But be prepared, be there waiting early, just in case. If it's on Google, because I know companies like Borderlink, they send a link, and they will just probably open the meeting earlier, and they wait for you to see how early you're going to come. So now that's very important. And one of the interview questions they're going to ask you actually is, if your class starts at 8 a.m., what time are you supposed to arrive. Okay, so that's all about anyway the video and the background, and that's a very important part, because that's, you know, those are the first things that the interviewers will see. And something that I have to mention is also responding your emails early and on time. That says a lot about you as well. When you get that email and you're being invited for the interview and you take a whole week before you respond, that just says that you're not serious and you're not, it says a lot about you anyway. So it's important, if you're applying for a job, keep checking your email. Put notifications so you can see that email coming in and you're able to respond in time. Now, those are very important things that I had to mention about your preparation. They're just little things, but they go a long way. Now, let's talk about the phone interview first of all. Okay, phone interview. So now, what I must say about the interview and responding to questions, there are two things that you really need to have in mind in your responses. On your interview day, please go through your application again. Go through the application, the answers that you responded, the answers that you wrote when you're responding to the when you're doing the application, or if it's a border link, that application form they send you, those answers, go through them. Most of the time they will take they'll be having that before them as they ask you the questions, and they want to see how you responded and if it aligns to what you are talking about, because you don't want to fill the form or fill the application and then you give a different response. Okay, so you want to be able to just go through that and understand and remember and remind yourself the answers and the responses that you gave them. Okay, now apart from that, there are two things. As you answer your questions, refer to your form, and the second thing, remember your role in the job. Those are two things that we're going to help you to answer the questions. The job, the job title and the role of the job, and the answers you gave in the form. The phone interview. The first thing you're probably going to have with Interact is a phone interview. I know with BorderLink is usually the group interview. Now I'm going to go to each, but let's start with the phone interview for Interact. So in the phone interview, they're going to probably tell you about Interact, and they're going to ask you if you're willing to drive or ride a bike. Yeah, so if you don't know how to ride a bike, please practice. Actually, you know what, it's very true, because I had to use a bike. I didn't have a driver's license, but the bicycle really helped me. So it's a good skill to learn. And but it doesn't mean that it disqualifies you, but knowing that in advance and being able to probably put some effort, that's important. And knowing how to drive, I usually say when you go to drive, it's better to go to driving school in Kenya, or you know, whichever country you come from. Going to driving school, some people say, oh, I'm gonna go driving school when I get to Japan. It's so expensive. We're talking in the rate of 300,000 plus, or between 250,000 to 300,000. But in Kenya, you can do that with a better price, and you know, you get your license, and then you can convert your license when you get to Japan. But what I also say is, remember, guys, please remember this, check for the international driver's license. Check for that, because I know in Kenya, the international driver's license is not accepted in Japan. You have to bring your Kenyan driver's license. When you get there, then you can switch. Okay, so that's one thing to note. Don't switch your driver's license to international, because the international driver's license from Kenya is not valid in Japan. It's valid in some countries, but not in Japan. So that's worth noting. Then the other question they might ask you here on the phone interview is, are you relocating with your family? Are you coming with any family members? Now, I know I've had many people ask me this question. Is, I have children, I have a family. Should I, I want to relocate with them? They're going to ask you that. Not that they are going to discourage you or anything, which is a good thing for you to move with family. Sure, please do. If you're willing to, if you're going to relocate with your family, just let them know. And I know what I personally encourage people to do is going first and then bringing your family after, because you're able to go settle, and it's expensive. Settle, save some money, and then bring your family after. But if you're able to, it's a very good thing to do it together as well. So really, this is really so personal. It depends with you, but it's very good for you to let the company know. Don't hide from them that you have family and you are willing to bring them with you, either immediately or in the future. Now let's look at some of the questions. Now that was Interact, that does a phone interview. Borderlink, usually with Borderlink, they don't have the phone interview first. They do the group interview. So it's group interview, have different, either 5 to 10 people from different parts of the world, and they'll be there. This interview lasts really short, 20 to 30 minutes. And what they ask you in this interview, they just they'll give you a question or a challenge, and they will see how you respond. And sometimes they just let you introduce yourself. So it's all different, but the good thing is it's group, so you get to hear from other people as well. Now, what I do encourage you to do in this group interview is don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. Respond. Be engaged. If you have a question or if you have an answer, go there ready to put your best foot forward. Okay, because from this group interviews where they now invite you to the next personal one-on-one interview. Okay, now let's get to the one-on-one interview and see some of the questions they might ask you. But I must say it's different for different companies, and this change, but this is just a basic guide to help you and to show you what to expect in this interview. Now, the first thing you'll be asked to do is introduce yourself. Okay, of course, and that's gonna be tell us about yourself. Now, this is a question that a lot of people fail at, because when they ask here this question, they go answering questions about all the primary school or elementary school they went to and all that. But what you need to focus on when you're answering this question is your education. What did you do for your degree? I have a degree in communication. Yeah, so talk about your education, and leave alone the elementary school and high school. Just go straight to your university or college, and then talk about your passion. What are you passionate about? And you're applying to be a teacher. Your passion for children has to come out. Yeah, so, and also talk a little bit about your experience as well. Okay, so that's basically what you should focus on. Just focus on your education, your passion, and also your experience. All right, now the next question will be, tell us about your teaching experience. They might ask you this question if you didn't share enough, or probably didn't share about your experience in the first place. Now, tell us about your teaching experience. Now, I've heard people ask me, what should I say if I don't have any teaching experience? And I say it's very important to be truthful, even if you don't have teaching experience. Yeah, because remember, the requirement is not the teaching degree. They just want any degree from any field. But how do you go about this if you don't have teaching experience? So I'll give you a tip here. So share about your past jobs, the kind of jobs you've done. If you're a teacher, you can share about your experience, the schools you've taught, and if you don't have any teaching experience, then you can share any teaching related experience. Like, have you volunteered in places where you've had to deal with children, be it camps, be it in the community that had projects to do with children? And then you also, have you been part of mentorship groups? Okay, so those are some of the things. Even just personal experience where you helped maybe siblings with schoolwork or anything like that. If you've been a Sunday school teacher and you've helped teach children at school, those are some of the things that you can mention if you don't have any teaching experience. If you've been in the business world, share about it, because you probably be teaching in centers where they're business people, or you'll be sent to companies to teach them English speaking skills. So that's why just share. You might see that your sales degree is actually going to help you also with what whoever you'll be teaching. So those are some of the things, some of the ways you can answer that question if you don't have any experience. So don't shy away from it. And the interesting thing actually I've realized that sometimes people go to interview, one is a teacher and one is not, and the teacher loses, but the one who's not actually gets a job. So it's basically how you present yourself. Okay, and just remember, as I said, confidence, and also wearing your confidence and your smile and your presence, and let the person feel, this is someone I want to listen to, in a classroom. Now let's go to the next question. You might be asked, what's your teaching method? What's your teaching method? And I'll give you a tip here is, you're going to teach people who don't speak English at all. So it's very important to use props. Okay, using props, gestures, props especially would be like pictures and objects, and things. If you're probably teaching about fruits, you want to have the real fruit. Okay, if you're teaching about good fruit, bad fruit, you probably want to have the image of that, or props that can be able to show that, so that someone can understand, good, bad. So using gestures, using pictures, and using props, those are some of the good ways, some of the nice teaching methods that you can employ. Others is storytelling. Okay, so storytelling can be another way, another method of teaching. So just look for your own ideas of how do you want to be able to present, what can you use to be able to help your students understand. What's your method? Define your own teaching method. Okay, now the other question you're going to be asked, and I think I mentioned this, if your class starts at 8:30, what time are you supposed to arrive in class? And I said at least 30 to 15 minutes earlier. 30 to 15 minutes earlier. Don't arrive in class and don't arrive at 8:30 and your class is starting at 8:30. You need to be there early to help with preparations. Now, the other question you might be asked is, how long are you willing to commute? What distance are you willing to commute? From the place you live to the place you teach. Some companies will have you go to different schools, and you might need to actually travel for 30 minutes, for an hour, for 2 hours. So they'll ask you to write how many hours. Okay, so for the tip for this, be very flexible. 2 hours, some people commute for 2 hours, and it's okay because the trains are convenient. All right, now, and why Japan? This is a question to be asked. Why? What exactly is making you interested? What's your interest in leaving Africa or Kenya to go work in Japan? Now, this is a question where employer wants to see, are you just coming in Why are you coming? Are you coming for the money? Are you coming for leisure, pleasure, or whatever? Now, for this, I would say find your own reason for sure. And there are so many reasons. Some people say passion, some people say culture. They're interested with the Japanese culture and they want to be able to, be part of it and experience it. For others, is the places it's a beautiful country. I want to be able to travel and see the different places. There are beautiful mountains, there are many rivers, it's beautiful ocean. And others people is food. Yeah, if you love sushi and the many different kinds of food they make there. So this is really up to you to define why Japan. Okay, and it's all good. We all have our reasons why we want to go there. So find your reason and be able to bring it out. And the other question is, what makes you a good teacher? What makes you a good teacher? That's something you need to think about. For me, I would say I love children. First of all, I'm happy. I'm happy to. Teaching is the opportunity that gives me a chance to interact with the children, to help them, and it excites me. It makes me happy. I feel fulfilled when I see children learning and advancing and achieving their goals. I'm a good communicator. I have good people skills. I'm empathetic. I'm patient. There's so many things that make you a good teacher. So what makes you a good teacher? All right. And now the other one is, how long are you planning to work in Japan? Now, if you're gonna be coming over for just 1 year, they might be like, the whole process is so long. Some processes take 6 months to get you there, and you're just gonna go for 1 year. So give yourself time. When you get there, if you want to experience all these things and to really grow as a person, you need to give yourself enough time. I usually say 5 years is a good time to be able to experience a culture, a country, and to be able to grow and to think what's next for you. All right, so think about the time. 1 year is too small, but pick a good number of time. And the companies usually renew the contract every year, and they will ask you, do you want to renew the contract in advance? So think about what time is good, and of course it needs to be worth it. Now, and the other thing is, how do you deal with difficult children? If you have difficult students, how do you deal with them? How do you handle the difficult children? And I think this is where they want to see if you're an empathetic teacher. They want to be able to see if you're patient and if you are ready to handle. There'll be the good and there'll be the difficult. And of course, children have their days. So how are you going to handle that? And not that, anyway, let me not say that. But one thing I want you to understand is that being a good teacher, yes, you need to be a good listener. You need to be, their students need to know that you are present, you are there for them. Some are difficult, not because they want, but because they're having difficulties. And, it comes out, they bring it out in a different way. So, but knowing that the teacher is there to listen to me, that really helps. Now, that needs to come out for you. So, but first thing you need that needs to come out when you're dealing with difficult students is, first of all, understanding the school rules and guidelines when it comes to discipline. It's very important for you, first of all, as a teacher, because some cases you may need to escalate. How do you do that? So you need to familiarize yourself with that. And then in every classroom, classroom management is very important. So setting rules and guidelines. And the best thing to do is, when you're setting your rules and your guidelines, involve your students. Okay, let them know, what should we do if someone wants to go to the bathroom? Okay, and they say, so that they also understand, so that it's not that the rule is being forced down their throat, but they understand that this is what we came up with and we agreed with. So that's easier for them, and also for them to understand the consequences. What are the consequences of doing this? Yeah, so before they even do it, they know, if I do this, these are the consequences. And also just teaching to your students accountability, and accountability and consequences, as I mentioned. So these are some of the things that I would say are important to observe. One tip I'll give you in your interview process, just these interviews are usually not hard. Anyone who's gone through these interviews, they know these are not difficult interviews. You'll probably be coming out thinking, wow, I over prepared and that was not what I expected. They make you feel comfortable, they make you feel at ease. Now make sure that you're also at ease. Confidence is so important. Wear your confidence. And sometimes they'll ask you a question that you don't know, and it's okay to just say that, well, I've not handled such a situation before, but this is how I would handle it. So being honest, I say being honest is so important. And then of course they'll give you a chance to ask questions. Please do ask. Come with a question already prepared. Of course, answering all the questions in the application, you'll see some places where you need questions. You'll have some questions, and something they'll ask you is about the money. The money issue always comes up. They'll say you need this amount to be able to relocate, to rent an apartment, and before your salary is paid, do you have this amount? Now this, they'll tell you to around 500,000, but they usually give you a loan of 250. Now that's Japanese yen. So, and they ask you, are you able to pay your air ticket on top of that? So that's something you need to look into and see how you can be able to raise that money. But I don't think this is an interview that should stress you or anything. Guys, I wish you the very best. Whoever has an interview, I wish you the very best as you get ready. And I'm excited for all those who are actually going to Japan this year. I'm excited for you all, and I wish you the very best. Let me know if I've left any question in the comment section. Let me know if there's any question that I left out that I didn't mention, so that we can help all the people who are asking and who are preparing for the interview. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know. Please like, share, and comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, thank you so much. May God bless you all.